In the kingdom of Amaife, no maiden was as renowned as Olaido, the daughter of King Ezioku. Her beauty was said to rival the goddesses. Her ebony skin, delicate features, and eyes that sparkled like the stars were unmatched. She walked with the grace of royalty, and her voice, melodic as it was, often carried words of disdain. Villagers whispered tales of her arrogance. As she walked through the market, she raised her head high, ignoring the greetings of traders and villagers. Why should I waste my words on commoners? She would mutter to her maid and Kim, who followed closely behind. One market day, a young man selling ripe palm fruits dared to call out to her, "Good morning, Princess Olaido," he said, bowing respectfully. Olaido turned, her gaze cold. "Do not speak to me again unless you can offer me something worthy of my status," she replied. The man, embarrassed, looked down as she strode past him with an air of superiority. Her father, King Ezioku, often warned her,
My daughter, pride is like a double edged sword. It can elevate you, but it can also destroy you.
yet Olaido paid him no heed. She believed her beauty and status placed her above all others. News of Olaido's beauty spread far and wide, attracting suitors from neighboring kingdoms. One day, a nobleman named Chukwuemeka arrived, bringing gifts of gold, ivory, and rare fabrics. He was a man of modest looks, but great wealth, and he came with the hope of winning her hand. As he stood before the princess in the grand hall, he spoke with reverence.
Princess Olaido, I've heard of your beauty and grace. I bring these gifts as a token of my admiration and ask for your hand in marriage.
Olaido inspected the gifts, but turned to him with a sneer. Your wealth may be great, but you are not handsome enough for a princess like me. Take your gold and leave my sight. Chukwuemeka's face reddened with humiliation. King Ezioku, watching from his throne, shook his head in disappointment.
My daughter, you may reject these words one day.
He warned. But Olaido laughed. Ha ha ha! Father, I will not settle for less than perfection. Only a prince who is both wealthy and handsome will be worthy of me. Months later, a famed warrior named Odinaka arrived at Amaife. His muscular frame and scars told tales of battles won and kingdoms defended. He approached King Ezioku with a chest of treasures and a promise to protect Olaide with his life. The princess met him in a royal garden, where he knelt before her.
Princess Olaido, I offer my strength and loyalty. With me, you will never know fear.
But Olaido was unimpressed. Strength? What use is brute force to a princess? I seek elegance, wealth, and beauty, not a man who reeks of sweat and war. Her words stung, but Odinaka maintained his composure. He rose and bowed.
I see I am not what you desire, princess. May the gods grant you your heart's wish.
As he left, Nkem whispered, "My princess, Odinaka is a fine man. Perfect." Hush! Olaido snapped. I will not lower myself for a mere warrior. Each rejection only fueled Olaido's arrogance. She often boasted of her beauty to anyone who would listen. One day, while strolling through the village, she stopped by a group of maidens drawing water from the stream. Olaido, come and join us, one of them called, smiling warmly. Join you? Olaido scoffed. Do you think a princess like me would dirty her hands fetching water? Perhaps you should aspire to be more like me instead of wallowing in your mud. The maidens exchanged glances. Their smiles faded. Olaido's words stung, but no one dared challenge her. She walked away, her laughter echoing behind her. The village elders began to murmur among themselves.
Her pride will be her downfall.
One said.
The gods do not favor such arrogance.
One evening, the palace priest, Dike, summoned Olaido to the shrine. He had seen troubling visions in the sacred flames.
Princess, your pride has angered the gods. They warn that your actions will bring misfortune upon you.
Dike said, his tone grave. But Olaido dismissed him with a wave of her hand. Old man, your visions mean nothing to me. The gods favor me, for they have made me the most beautiful woman in the land. Dike sighed, shaking his head.
Beauty fades, child. Humility is what endures.
Unmoved, Olaido left the shrine, convinced that she was untouchable. During the annual yam festival, another suitor approached. He was the son of a wealthy merchant, adorned in fine clothes and bearing exotic gifts. Yet, like the others, he was dismissed. You call yourself a prince? Olaido said, her voice dripping with disdain. You look more like a trader dressed in borrowed robes. Begone! The suitor left in shame, and the villagers began to grow wary of her behavior. She mocks us all, they whispered. Even the gods will not tolerate this for long. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped between the horizon, a handsome young man appeared at the gates of King Ezioku's palace. His name was Prince Obina, and he was everything Princess Olaide had dreamt of. Tall, well built, with striking features and an air of regality. His clothes were the finest silk, shimmering in the fading light, and his voice held a captivating charm. As he bowed before the king, the courtiers marveled at his presence.
I have traveled from afar to ask for the hand of your daughter, Princess Olaido.
He said with a smile that made every maiden in the palace swoon. Eliado, who had rejected so many suitors in the past, felt her heart stir for the first time. His appearance met her exacting standards, and she was immediately entranced. King Ezeku, seeing the princess's reactions, nodded with approval.
You have my blessings, Prince Obina. Your beauty and grace match our kingdom's ideas.
But his gaze lingered on his daughter, a hint of concern in his eyes.
Do you truly think this man is what you desire, Olaido?
He asked gently. Olaido, filled with pride and joy, ignored her father's warning. Father, he is perfect. No man could be more suited to me than Prince Obina. The days following Obina's arrival were filled with preparations for the grand wedding. The palace was adorned with colorful tapestries, and the air was filled with the scent of flowers. The villagers gathered to witness the union of the princess and the handsome prince. On the day of the wedding, Olaido stood in her finest attire, a golden crown upon her head. She had never felt more radiant, and Obina led her to the altar. Her heart fluttered with excitement. The guests were in awe of their beauty, but deep within, Olaido felt an unease she could not explain. The prince seemed perfect, but there was something strange about him, something almost ethereal. As the ceremony progressed, Olaido's thoughts were clouded with the image of the prince's flawless face, yet her gut told her something was wrong. Before she could speak, Obina placed a gentle hand on her shoulder.
Let us go, my queen.
he whispered. Without another word, the entire palace watched in silence as the bride and groom departed to their new life. The villagers marveled at their beauty, but a chill ran through the air as they disappeared into the night. The journey to Obina's homeland began at once, and as the moonlight bathed the path, a sense of dread began to overtake Olaido. The road seemed longer than she remembered, and the world around her felt unfamiliar. Obina led her through dense forests, over winding rivers, and across dark plains. Where are we going, Obina? Olaido asked, her voice trembling with uncertainty. Why is this journey so long? Obina smiled, his expression remaining calm and serene.
You are about to enter a world unlike any you have ever seen, my dear. A world where your beauty and pride will no longer rule. It is the world of the spirit, a place where you must learn humility, for you are not in control here.
Olaido's heart raced, realizing that something was terribly wrong. What do you mean? What word is this? She asked, panic creeping into her voice. Obina's smile grew colder.
You will see soon enough, princess.
By the time they reached their destination, the night was deepened and a thick mist surrounded them. The landscape before Olaido was unlike anything she had ever seen. Twisting trees with growing eyes, rivers that seemed to move on their own accord, and strange eerie silence that hung in the air.
Welcome to the land of the spirits.
Obina said, his voice now full of mystery.
This is where you will learn what it means to be humble.
Olaido tried to speak, but her words caught in her throat. The spirits around her began to take shape, tall, shadowy figures that flickered in and out of sight. She felt a chill in her bones and could barely move her feet. Every step forward seemed to pull her deeper into the world where she had no power. Why have you brought me here? She demanded, her voice now shaking. Obina's face darkened, and for the first time, she saw the true nature of the man, or rather, the spirit who had come to claim her.
You rejected those who came for you, princess. You mocked those beneath you. Now you belong to me.
As they entered the heart of the spirit's land, Olaido could no longer ignore the truth. The beauty and wealth she had desired were nothing compared to the terrifying reality of the spirit world. Her grand wedding gown, once pristine, now felt suffocating, and her crown seemed to weigh heavy on her head. She looked to Obina for comfort, but his face had transformed into something monstrous, and his once handsome features now twisted and grotesque.
You are mine now.
Obina intoned, his voice echoing in silence.
No longer will you stand above others. Here, you are nothing but a guest in my realm.
Olaido tried to run, but the land seemed to stretch endlessly, trapping her within its confines. The spirits watched, their glowing eyes fixed on her, waiting.
You can't escape.
Obina said, his voice filled with cold amusement.
Here, there is no place for pride. You will remain with me for eternity, learning what it truly means to be humbled.
Tears filled Olaido's eyes as she fell to her knees, realizing too late the cost of her arrogance. The end. And what do you think of this story? Do you think she deserved what she got in the end? Or do you think she should have been given a second chance? Let us know in the comment section. And also do well to please support this small channel by liking this video and hitting the subscribe button. It is totally free and it will help this channel go a long way. Thank you so much as you do so. Thank you for your support. Until next time, bye.